Science, and I am happy to welcome you, spring 2019 term, to the orientation, the new student orientation. And so what we'll have in store is roughly 10 to 15 minutes. I'll have a set of slides that I'd like to go over with you, and then that'll be followed by Michael Crossfox. We'll go through the systems rather quickly. Main thing is to take note of where the resources are. Okay, so the combination between, like, my slide presentation will be available. It'll be, well, this whole session is recorded, and so part of that will be the slide presentation, and that you could view this almost like come back to it next week and look at it as like a checklist of things, because there's so many resources that you would want to go to 2 months down the road, 3 months down the road, and you just want to kind of have that at your fingertips. So that's kind of what we're trying to do. And then beyond that, it's introductions. I'm going to invite each of the full-time faculty to come up and give a little short presentation. I have our newest faculty member, Tanya Evans, who's teaching collection development. She's also going to come up and give a little presentation, brief presentation, and then we're just going to break, and that'll be the end of our session. So with that, let me move forward. Oops, too fast. Okay, so this set of slides is roughly structured in terms of planning. Okay, your program of study. I mean, you could say that that's your kind of the essentials for the degree. But two very, very important bullets that I want to bring to your attention right in the very beginning is field experience during this. Typically, it's a 2-year program for most of our students. That's the pace that students go through the program. And during those 2 years, you want to make sure you accumulate field experiences. Also, I would strongly recommend some professional engagement. And so we will be, that's also included here in this presentation. Okay, so the program, I have talked with each of you, so I'm just going to go through this quickly. It consists of a core. Most of you will be getting 204, 205 this term, the first 2 core, and then followed the other 2, 203, 239, organizational information, research methods, and then the other required course is a management requirement, 240. Beyond that, you have your electives, which I've mentioned that you can structure to cover one specialization, or you can customize a program and have, courses from 2 or 3 specializations, that kind of thing. So that you would work out in consultation with your advisor. So the next advisement meeting, which will be roughly March, April for summer, fall, in that time frame, you would want to, before then, have gone through the course cycle and some other resources and kind of bring to that meeting some of your ideas and discuss it with a member of the full-time faculty in your area of interest. Okay. And also the e-portfolio. That's our end of program assessment. There are 8 program goals of the Master of Science, and we'd like to, what we value is the connection between those program goals and your actual 12 courses that you're taking, making that connection, which will kind of connect the dots in a sense in terms of your overall learning. And the structure of the main section is the 8 program goals, and for each of those goals, you're submitting 1 or 2 artifacts from your courses, so assignments, projects, that kind of thing. And what you're writing is writing a reflection for each one of the program goals, and those reflections essentially are are talking about your learning, discussing the relationship between the artifact and the goal, perhaps also bringing in your expectations beyond how you feel the course may relate to what your where you see your career path going, that kind of thing. And each semester we have a workshop, so you definitely want to participate. It'll be online, and it'll be actually part of our DLIS webinar series, which is a bi-weekly series. I believe the first one is February 7th or 9th. But anyway, it'll be as part of that bi-weekly series. One of those webinars will be the e-portfolio workshops. You definitely, as a new student, you definitely want to either attend that online or watch that recording. Okay, one or other, or both. Okay. And then this is just a little takeaway here. After you go, after like whatever, tomorrow, weekend, look at this slide and see if you can pick out these resources here. 3 out of the 4 are on the LibGuide. The LibGuide is basic. You could view that as our online manual. That really has the most detail on the program. The other resource is the blog, and then also the DLIS subsite on stjohns.edu. And so they overlap, but the most detailed view is the LibGuide. But the 8 program goals, you see, that is part of, that is on the actual stjohns.edu. So you definitely wanted to take a look at that if you haven't seen that already. And anyway, so this is kind of like, I call it a scavenger hunt to view some of the resources. Advisement, my role is basically to speak with each of you, those entering the program, and the following terms: you email one of our full-time faculty in your area of interest, and you can change your advisor. It's totally up to you. It's a student-driven process, but it is a required process. So in other words, you must be advised prior to registering. Okay, that is the registration process. Starts with advisement. Together you fill out a registration form. The registration form is advisor signs it, you sign it, you email that back to DLIS, and then going forward, DLIS responds with your code to register online. So the process you went through now with the dean's office, that's done. Okay, so that's just a new student check, so to speak. What the dean's office requires is that it goes through them only the first time. So going forward, you'll be registering online once you return the signed form to DLIS. Okay, so here I actually threw in the link. This will take you to one of the pages. Hopefully I can come back from this on the LibGuide. So this is our LibGuide. You can see here's the structure of the LibGuide. Okay, this particular page, huh?
It's not actually coming up.
Oh, it's not coming up. Okay, well, that link is correct. I don't know why it's not coming up, but let's see. But it's okay. Just move on.
Oh wait, if you.
I don't want to. No, I got to be on my PowerPoint. Where's my PowerPoint? Is that here?
The next one.
This one? No.
Down at the bottom. You go down to the bottom. Here you go.
Ah, there we go. Okay, so anyway, we were just chatting, Dr. Rue and I, about the fact that it's not. This link is connecting to the LibGuide, the registration page on the LibGuide, but it's not being seen in our room here. But anyway, the link definitely works. What I did also, though, I did list the faculty and their areas of interest here, and you'll see that replicated on the blog, and you'll also see that replicated on the LibGuide. So again, I would just note where that is, so when the time comes when you need it, you can just quickly at your fingertips where to find that. Okay, moving on. Field experience. Some of this academic service learning is integrated in some of the courses. That's service, community service, that's integrated into course objectives. That's what they mean by academic service learning. It's not just a service component. It is strongly connected to the course. So you'll see that in one of the core 203. Dr. Angel is the instructor for that. She'll be talking momentarily. You also see it in web design and a few courses in the archival studies specialization as well. But everybody will get some exposure because it is in the core. Internships, strongly recommended. That is a separate course. Internships are their own course. You'll be doing a certain number of hours on site. You, in advance, you construct an internship agreement with the host site supervisor. That agreement is submitted, approved by us, goes to the dean's office, and that's the registration process for internships. So that's an excellent experience to take advantage of. Some of you are already working in the field. That's certainly excellent experience right there. And other kinds, volunteer positions are certainly fantastic when you have that opportunity and can do that. And also we have a course called LIS 901 for research experiences. So for example, in 239, research methods, the core course 239, if you're working on a project in there and you would like to see it develop, you could talk to your instructor in 239 and see if he or she can not sponsor, but I'd be your mentor for a 901 research experience. So it's actually, you earn credit. It counts as a course, just like internships count as courses. So that's part of your 36 credits you can use. You can have a research experience as that. Okay, professional engagement, strongly recommended that during your period here, you join your local state association and ALA. Most states, I think it's like 48 states, 47 states, something like that, they have an agreement with state library associations, have an agreement with ALA, and they have this really, I know New York is one. So for those of you on our online audience, I would check with your state library association. And most of them have these joint memberships with ALA, and they're like $40 or something per year. It's a really nice deal. And if your state library association is meeting not too far from where you live, I would definitely take advantage of that and try to get involved if you can, either participating on a committee or participating in the form of a poster panel or a paper presentation. But the idea being, and a lot of the county, or depending on the state, some have county associations, like New York does. Other states have regional associations, so state and regional library associations. So see what kind of associations are available to you that are practical with your particular schedule, and try to be involved. Try to do that networking over the course of your time here, and that will just help you once you graduate. And help you in that or provide support, there are two things we have. If you, one is the H.W. Wilson. H.W. Wilson is a foundation that provides us and actually every ALA accredited library school with a grant every 4 years, scholarship grant. And what we do is we use a portion of that to provide these $500 scholarships. So if you submit a poster or panel presentation or paper and it gets accepted, you will most likely win that, because we haven't there's enough in that fund where we've been able to satisfy everyone in a year who has had that accepted at a professional conference. I think the maximum we had was six people, so six presentations were accepted. Anyway, so that's H.W. Wilson is coming from us thanks to the H.W. Wilson Foundation, and it's a scholarship. So what it is it's a reduction on your tuition. So if you get the scholarship, your next semester's tuition is reduced by $500, or if you're graduating that term, then it becomes a what they call it, an excess or something, and you would get a check. Anything. So it's available even for those graduating in the term they graduate. So anyway, the second part, this is the college. So we're in the Liberal Arts College, Liberal Arts and Sciences College, St. John's College of the university. And the college has this program for graduate students where they will reimburse up to $500 in travel expenses. So that would include, car, airfare, transportation, hotel, and registration fee. Primarily, $500 is not a lot. So it usually between those three you've used, but it's something. 500 is certainly something, and especially if you're not going too far away. We recently, a student was presenting down in Baltimore, and this covered probably 2/3 of her expenses to attend that conference in Baltimore. So it's certainly a help. Oh, and Nicholas in the back, you got that award But that was in Hawaii though. So it didn't really, maybe you covered a third. I don't know. But it's something. The mentorship program is in kind of revisiting this and working with our alumni and advisory board, but it is there. If you are interested, please feel free to reach out to DLIS at stjohns.edu, that email address, or myself. And if you are interested in a mentor, we're in the process of kind of modifying it, but anyway, so I don't have more to say about it right now. But if you're interested, please reach out to either myself or send an email to dlis@stjohns.edu, and we will certainly, find an alum for you to work with. And this last two slides are primarily links. If you were thinking about perhaps non-traditional jobs, then ALA has a great page on that. So I put the link here for you to check out. And they also have a link on careers in general in the field. And then finally, this is where I transition to Michael. These are like the communication and / resource sites we have. Well, except the digest. The digest is an email, but the digest is connected to the blog. So I guess it's all part of the same. The digest is like the alert mechanism. So Michael, I'll hand it over to you.
Okay.
And
all right, bear with me, folks. I have to log into my presentation. What happened? All right. Still sharing my screen. I wanted to present from my laptop over there because the angle of this camera is not flattering anybody. But alas, I couldn't. All right. I have to log out because it's Dr. Rio's account. Sign out. All right, so anyway, what happens generally is year after year, Dr. Vorbak gives his spiel, and then I give my spiel, and then the following semester, Dr. Vorbak copies my spiel and then cancels my spiel. So I had to come up with something completely new to present on today, and this is what I'm trying to pull up.
kind of a game we have going on. I try to find out what he's going to say, then I put it in mine, and then he has about 5 minutes to.
All right, so here's my orientation spiel for spring 2019. All right, so I'm Michael Crossfox. I'm the staff and academic support assistant here at DLIS, Queens Campus. I've touched base with a lot of you, and even the people that are in the room. I've recognized your names because we've been in contact over the past few weeks, so welcome. I just want to quickly go over some of the things that Dr. Vorbak had mentioned, but first, a little bit about myself. On the left are some of my interests and things that you can ask me about. I have to increase my list of TV shows that I'm currently watching. So ask me anything related to the program. But specifically, ask your instructors questions about coursework, if you need letters of recommendation or reference. And of course, as Dr. Vorbak said, when you're getting advised, you'll be talking about designing your program of study. So just be mindful that anything outside of your coursework is my purview. Anything within the courses, lean on your instructors first. A lot of us set up tools like what I'm about to walk you through that I call self-service tools. The way it works is that anytime a student asks me a question, I find the answer, give it to the student, and then I put that answer somewhere on the internet so that the next student can go find it themselves. So that, not that I don't want to answer your questions, but that it empowers you to start exploring and looking for the resources, which is kind of what you're going to be doing for the rest of your lives as a librarian. All right, so just for clarity, you are pursuing the MSLIS. Repeat after me. MSLIS. MSLIS. Okay, thank you. Because some of you say, I'm so excited to start pursuing my MLS, my MLIS, my MSLSI, my SSILL, and my SSISSILLI. No, MSLIS is what we're here for. So you've already experienced some of the blog. In 270, that's one of the, it's on the left-hand navigation bar. That's where it is, sjudlis.com. I receive dozens of emails a day with job opportunities, scholarship opportunities, internship opportunities, study abroad opportunities from other programs. All of that stuff gets posted on the blog, and all of that stuff gets linked in the digest, which you get every Wednesday, and that's your primary source of information. So go home, check your emails. If you're home now, check your email spam filter for DLIS at stjohns.edu. We're not spam. That's official communication coming from St. John's, from me. And if it's in the spam, it's in the wrong place, and that hurts my feelings. The idea is that going forward, as of today, your students, your active students in the program, we will only be communicating to your St. John's email address. So up until now, you may have had some correspondence going to your princesskitty84@aol.com. That's not happening going forward. As of today, we will only correspond with your stjohns.edu email address. And that's for legal reasons. It protects both of us. It protects you and the institution. How do I maximize this? The green one?
Yeah.
I haven't used the Mac since they were this big. And all right, so campus guides. This is what Dr. Vorbeck tried to show you earlier, the registration page on the campus guide. You may have seen this also in LAS 270 if you've gone down the left nav bar. But essentially, this is where all of the program information is for students currently in the program. So there's information about your portfolio. Oh, ignore that. I have to update that page. There's what Dr. Vorbeck wanted to show you, the registration page, which has information on advisement and the specializations and our course offerings. Here's a page on internships, the resources that Dr. Vorbeck mentioned, including on the left-hand side a kind of chronological procedure list for how you're going to start your internship process. Hint, it starts the semester before you intend to do your internship. Here are some research resources, and again, the research experience independent study, LIS 901, that Dr. Vorbeck mentioned in his presentation. Oh, so I'm rehashing your presentation, and my links work. Ha ha ha. Here's information on the professional associations, of which you are currently a member of DLIS, the DLIS Student Association, which is a student association of the American Library Association. So congratulations, new members. You guys that are here are going to be officers this semester. So your names are going to be slotted in there. I will voluntold you when it happens. The way it's structured is that there's senior officers and junior officers. We'll go over this. The first general meeting is February 7th. The senior officer is the president. That student has accrued more than 18 credits. So they're halfway through the program, second year student. The junior officer is vice president, president-elect. They're under 18 credits. They're new to the program. When the president graduates, the vice president becomes the president. And when the secretary graduates, the assistant secretary becomes the secretary. And so you as new students, you're going to get shunted into, ceremoniously installed into those positions, and you'll be working on the e-board during the program, during your course of study. And this is just resume fodder. We do one event a year, which is the symposium. Nicolas is our current symposiarch, so he's tasked with planning the symposium. And DLIS e-board members will organize things. Historically, we have a Christmas party and St. Patrick's Day outing. And we have also a distance chair and a distance co-chair, and those students help students afield out in their different localities organize meetups. We did one in Connecticut where students from Connecticut and Rhode Island met at a library that was run by an alumna of the program, and they had a nice day of coffee and donuts. That library has a famous cat called Mido. So they got to meet Mido, and they got t-shirts, Mido t-shirts and tote bags and stuff. So we reached out to our distance students to make sure that they're active and that they feel a sense of community while they're in the program. This also includes scholarship opportunities. These are our scholarships in the center. Dr. Vorback touched on one of them, the H.W. Wilson Professional Development Scholarship, but we do have others. This scholarship application is pretty much open. We award them at different times of the year. So if you're interested, email me. More information on the mentorship program that Dr. Vorback mentioned. And then here's a DLIS media page that has videos of various synchronous events that we've held. Most recently, talk with a career and business center librarian. That was one of our webinars. So that's something else to look forward to is our webinars. So here's what to expect for spring 2019. February 7th, as I mentioned, DLIS general meeting. February 12th to 15th, that week, I'm going to be conducting what I call the new student check-in, which is a WebEx meeting where you can access remotely in a group, like 4 or 5 of you. It's a 10 to 15-minute session. I'm going to give you an opportunity to select a session and ask me questions. And then I'm going to answer your questions in a PowerPoint presentation that I will give at that synchronous check-in meeting. So you're asking questions anonymously, I'm answering them correctly. And then at the end of that week, the final presentation, because as people ask questions, I will add them to the presentation. The final presentation gets posted to 270 and you can peruse and review. February 21 is another webinar. The webinars are structured, that's a professional engagement and professional development tool that we came up with here, where we ask alumni, recent graduates, and even professionals in the field to come in and talk to you guys synchronously. So we've had health information librarian come in, we've had children's librarians, we've had that career and business center librarian. So there are various practitioners in varying degrees, public, academic, school, law, solo librarian and an archive, historical society librarian. We've had a number of those people come in and talk to us. So this semester, the social director for DLIS will be selecting those people and inviting them to come talk to us. And it's really fun. If you have the chance to come on campus, we do them synchronously online on campus in our lounge. So the GAs and other people will assemble, and it's a good community building, a good way to meet your classmates. March 4, spring break. I can't wait. March 14, another webinar. Around the time of the 25th, as Dr. Vorback mentioned, is when we're going to start the advisement period, and you'll be talking to your faculty one-on-one about your program of study, and that's going to happen toward the end of March. And then finally, in April, more webinars. Easter recess on the 18th, and the 27th, Saturday of April, is the DLIS Student Research Symposium, which again will be organized by Nicolas. So you can talk to him. The format for the DLIS Student Research Symposium is our students present to each other. And we do panels, we do remote presentations on work from a web design course. We do posters, solo presentations. You'll give a PowerPoint for 15 minutes. It's non-judged, non-reviewed. It's just you taking some coursework that you're particularly proud of and discussing and presenting it to your classmates. It doesn't even have to be coursework completed here. We had somebody who gave a very long talk about the War of the Roses and medievalists, right? Like they love to be in libraries, but whatever. So that's an opportunity, the DLIS Student Research Symposium. That could be your first professional opportunity. And for those of you not in the room, this is what I look like. So remember that when you email me, if you have any, camera, damn, I didn't want to do this in front of the camera. If you have any questions, just email me, cruzm@stjohns.edu, and that's my phone number. And I'm here for you and to help you in any way I can. All right, so next up, we'll do some brief faculty introductions. All right.
Thanks, Michael. Okay, so now bring up the faculty and have them give you a little short introduction, and we'll start with Dr. Shari Lee.
Am I going up?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I say, oh, Michael has didn't bring the right photograph. Okay. This really is not flattering. Okay. Hi, everyone. So most of you have probably logged into LIS 205 already. Anyone? Did everyone get the email I sent? Was it long enough? Okay. So if you haven't looked at your email yet, check your email. Look for the I call it the welcome email, but it's overwhelming. Take some time, look at it, explore the course. Okay, read the syllabus. Really important. A lot of the weight from online learning and teaching means that we have to really take some time to read everything. If you don't know anything, you can't find something, there's a spot right on the discussion board. You have my email, and I'm going to give you my phone number. There's no reason not to reach out to me, right? I didn't know is not an excuse, right? No. If you're not sure, just ask me, right? 310-703-2561. You can text me, you can call me, or you can email me. All that information is online, okay? So it doesn't matter if it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Send me a text. If I'm up, I'll answer it. If I'm not, I'll answer it when I get up, okay? It's fine. Read everything. I can't stress this enough. Take some time to look at the syllabus, see what's due, when it's due, all the assignments. The discussion board is not everything, right? There are a lot of other links and other things to look at. Make sure you understand what is required. That's the most important thing. The weight of that is on you. If you miss something because you didn't know it wasn't, you didn't have to do it, or it was on the schedule, or you didn't know the due date, there's not much I can do after you miss it, right? Not much. So be vigilant about this. Take some time. Look at the syllabus. Read it. Right. I'm saying this because of what I've seen, okay? So make sure you understand what's required, when things are due. Take some time. Other than that, do you guys have any questions about the course? Now, it's a foundational course that's going to complement Dr. Ree's course, okay? We're going to talk about what used to be called reference services. So what librarians actually do, find information or resources for users. So that's what this course is. Basically, that's what it is. So searching, understanding sources, these are important aspects of this course. If you don't read the material, if you don't look at my slides, if you don't listen to the podcast I provide, you will not pass the course. You won't. Okay, so you have to be vigilant about this. Do the work. I know I'm saying this too many times, but that really is the key to online success in learning. Okay, just take some time. The course is really not a difficult course. Everything is very straightforward. And if you have trouble, just let me know. I have nothing else to say. You've been warned. Okay? Any questions? Any concerns? No? Okay.
I should have mentioned that Dr. Lee is the advisor in the youth services specialization.
Oh, yes.
So,
Let me take a second on that too.
sure.
Yes. Okay. So if you're interested in youth services, right, that's working with young children, teens, or elementary school age, the 8 to 7 to like 9-year-olds, that's me, right? It's actually the fun part of what we do, right? We do all the cool stuff. So if you're interested in that, or you're not sure and you want to explore it, give me a call, set up an appointment. Let's discuss it. And I'll, give you whatever information you want. Or take an elective, see how it goes. Okay? Good? Anybody interested? All right. Okay. We have one.
Okay. Next up, we have Dr. Rajesh Singh, who advises for the management, our newest certificate program, and also special libraries.
Thank you, and hello everybody. Dr. Urbach already introduced me. I'm Rajesh Singh, and my teaching and research areas are in the area of management, and I have research in the area of marketing, branding of library information services, and library leadership and library management. So obviously I teach those courses. So you will be taking one of the required courses, LIS 240, Management of Information Organization. So you will take it sooner or later, and I suggest you take it sooner than later. And if you want to take one of the required courses later, I mean, I suggest you take 239 research methods later, because if you take 240 earlier, it will expose you to other elective management courses that I teach. For example, marketing and advocacy, project management, and knowledge management. We have an advanced management certificate program that is a 15 credit certificate. If you consider taking that program, it will give you an additional certificate, additional degree. So 240 is already a part of that certificate program. And regardless of your interest, I think project management and marketing and advocacy, they are one of the most required skill set for any librarian professionals. If you look at the job ad, so you will notice it. So you consider taking them at some point if you're interested. And I teach research method course too. So LIS 239 research methods in library and information science. So yeah, so you will be dealing with me at some point sooner or later. And that's all about me. If you have any question, email me, phone me, WebEx me, whatever works for you. Thank you.
Okay, next up is Dr. Christine Angel. Dr. Angel advises the archival studies specialization.
Hi, I'm Christine Angel. This semester I'm teaching LIS 203, Organization of Information. Is anybody in that this semester? Okay. And the LIS 258, Museum Informatics. Is anybody in that? Okay, just a few notes. Government shutdown. I thought I had my classes all figured out, and until when I saw the government shutdown continue, I had to tweak a few assignments. So everything is solidified online now. But because some of these library archive and museum web resources are managed by federally paid employees who are currently furloughed, some of the things aren't. Some of these data management tools are not currently available on the web because nobody is being paid right now to work on them. Same thing with my museum informatics class. With the government shutdown, because many of these museums that I typically do visit to add course content to the museum informatics course, there are no longer people right now available that work at these museums to actually help me with field trips. Because why? They're furloughed. So this semester, I hope that the government shutdown does not impact us too much, but I've made arrangements for assignments and things like that to get over that. So case in point, libraries, archives, and museums, if you are going to be paid by the government or are looking for one of those jobs, right now this is a fact of life where you just don't get a paycheck. So lesson learned, right? So in saying that, organization of information, that course is required academic service learning. The academic service learning, it's intended not to be a hardship, but for you to find a place within your own area that you reside and obtain hands-on work. I had one student that just emailed to me that lives in Minnesota, and she's working with Native American documents where she's currently an intern at. That's fabulous. So I always tell students, when you're trying to find an academic service learning community partner, try to make it somewhere that you would actually like to get a job at, right? Because this is your ability to start networking. And a good way to network is to show your potential employer what you can do, right? So some of my students have gotten jobs like that. And then for the museum informatics course, it's a museum partnership that I actually form with students, that I have students form with a museum in the local area that they can go and visit and actually have fun with. And that way we're applying classroom assignments to the real world. So same thing with LIS 203, we're applying assignments that we learned in the classroom or concepts we learned in the classroom to the real world environment. So take advantage of these opportunities to actually do what you're here to do, which is what Michael Crossbox has said before, get a job, right? That's why you're here. It's to gain employment eventually. Hopefully before you graduate from the program and not after, right? So that's the goal, to get a job. So that's the thinking here. I do teach the archival courses here. I teach digital libraries, museums, so libraries, archives, and museums, and the organization of information within them, along with the web environment. That's what I do. So if you're interested in anything like that, getting a job, doing something like that, or even working with Fortune 500 companies doing records management versus archival management, please let me know, and I'd be more than happy to talk to you. Does anybody have any questions before I leave? No? All right, thanks.
Okay, next up, Dr. Kevin Rue. And Dr. Rue advises in public and also academic librarianship.
Okay, everybody, hello. I've met all of you in the room, and hello, everyone online. Once again, I'm Kevin Rue, or Ryu. I answer to either one. They're both right. I teach the foundations course, so everyone who is a new student is probably in one of the two sections that I'm teaching this semester. And foundations course, LIS 204, discusses how information management is really much a part of today's overall societal structure. We depend heavily on information in our everyday lives, and I want to talk a lot about that, but I also want to talk about how we as librarians, or people who fulfill a librarian role, whether he or she is called a librarian, is somebody who facilitates other people's information needs. Essentially, that's what we do. We facilitate other people's information needs. And what I want, I'm going to be bringing that up a number of times in the course, because this is not without some kind of value. This is not neutral. This is actually a very political stance. And because some people in our society don't want other people's information needs to be fulfilled, or people to have free-floating information. We are living in a time where information and propaganda is very much a part of the information landscape. And so there's a lot of opportunities to talk about those kinds of things in this course, along with learning the nuts and bolts and the history and the philosophy of modern librarianship. So this is pretty much what we talk about in LIS 204. We're going to go in a lot of different directions. I think you're going to have a lot of things that's going to interest you. You're going to have your eyes opened in a lot of different ways. A lot of our students come in thinking they want to do one thing in librarianship, and they learn something else over the course of this LIS 204, and they say, I thought I was going to do X, but this Y thing sounds really great. I'm going to look into this a little bit more. That's great. Don't panic. Don't say, I wanted to be, a school, I wanted to be a youth services librarian, and all of a sudden, no, I want to do youth services in a public library or an academic library or something like that. So there's lots of opportunities out there. Just as Dr. Vorbach and actually the rest of the faculty have indicated, we're a very social profession. People share a lot of information. We are interested in best practices and sharing those best practices. It's not so much, I'm gonna do this thing and not tell anybody that I found an easier way to do something. Okay, so the point is socialize. Even though that you're, this is an online program, take advantage of all of the opportunities that online technologies give you for additional socialization. It's different from face-to-face. It is, but this is where we are in the history of things. And so we can look at it as an opportunity. I also teach social justice in the information professions, information and resources for diverse populations. I teach the public libraries course, which I'm teaching this semester, and I also teach academic libraries. So if you're interested in any of the things that I've discussed this afternoon, feel free to reach out. As the other faculty members have said, it's really important to keep in touch with us if there's issues, okay? you know, you don't need to give us too many details, but just say, I'm having some issues in my life, and can we work something out? Or I need some additional help, but I can't do it this second because I am dealing with some family issues or something like that. We're flexible, but you can't just say, oh, I didn't do it because I had this thing. You have to be more proactive than that and take responsibility for the workload, which is significant. And so, but keep in touch. Technology issues are going to happen. Don't freak out. There's no, you know, we just deal with them, and everything. It's part of the librarian's life. You deal with this kind of stuff every day. So this is going to be okay. So I welcome all of you. It's exciting. I know that you're probably kind of, getting overwhelmed with all the stuff that you've had to deal for to get to this point, and what we're giving you now. Don't worry, because we are librarians and we manage this information, and it's going to be available to you again through whatever format that you need. So welcome to everybody, and thank you. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, next up, Dr. Kristen Sylvian. Dr. Sylvian is in the Department of History and has a joint appointment with DLIS and advises in the archival studies specialization as well.
Thank you, Professor Vorbach. Welcome, everyone. It's nice to see you. I'm Kristen Sylvian. And in all likelihood, unless you are an applicant to the dual degree program, and I'm speaking of the program that offers a Master of Science in Library and Information Science and a Master of Arts in Public History, we probably have not yet interacted. And in all likelihood, because the classes that I teach for the Division of Library and Information Science tend to be elective classes, we may not interact right away. But I'd like to encourage you this afternoon to think for just a moment about, although this is the beginning of your program, the end of the program, and the day that you'll be called upon to demonstrate your competency in the various areas that are identified by the American Library Association for every library science professional to have mastered. And one of those first areas of competency is that there is an expectation that you'll leave the program with some awareness of its history and the theory upon which it rests historically. For example, I know in previous semesters, we've read works that have discussed how various libraries, including public libraries, were once closed to African Americans and other people of color. So certainly having that knowledge, and to think that you might someday be employed by a library that had particular days or particular hours when certain patrons could visit, seems to me it's a pretty important kind of perspective to go to a job with. So that's just a quick example of how having some historical perspective about where the field has been in the past can help you be a better librarian today and a better information science professional. In addition to classes on the history of libraries, archives, galleries, and museums, I also teach a course on oral history, and this semester a course on visual culture. And those classes, again, are elective classes, which you can register for a credit in the Division of Library and Information Science. So if your interests tend to history, to archives, to historical museums, cultural heritage tourism, I'll be happy to help you out. And most recently, St. John's has negotiated an arrangement with the National Park Service, and although unfortunately our 3 spring interns won't be able to commence their internships as they expected this week because of the government close down, we're hoping that they will be able to have their internships begin, and if not, summer opportunities will be available. Likelihood, if last year is any guide, there'd be 6 internships available to our students agreements with the National Park Service. So if, again, those are your interests, I'd be happy to talk to you or hope to you will call, phone, or email. Thank you.
And our last presenter is Tanya Evans. And Tanya Evans is an instructor for the course, the newly designed course, LIS 211, Collection Management, and is also a member of our advisory board.
Welcome everyone. I'll make sure I'm in the best angle. As Dr. Vorbeck said, I am going to teach LIS 211, Collection Development and Management. And the course primarily is going to really walk you with ordering and planning for your physical and your virtual library. So if you ever walked into the library and wonder how did the books get there, that's what the class is all about. Like, who orders it? Who makes the decisions to order it? How do you deal with vendors? Walks you through how do you talk to your community about what books to accept or to gather, collect, what ebooks to purchase. So those are pretty much where we're going to go. We're going to talk about fiscal management. Sometimes you have to cut something from your collection because you don't have the money to support it, or might be a shutdown, right? So that's what the class is all about. It's an elective course. I'm really excited to teach it. 10 years ago, I was sitting in your shoes. I'm also a graduate of the program as well. So I really believe in St. John's. And I attend many conferences. So if anyone wants to reach out to me, you can. I'm always at the booth with Michael, volunteering, because this degree at the time, LS, when I got it, was really important to me. And I continue to work in the library, so I'm always putting what I learn into practice and always eager to learn more. So I'm happy to share some of that information with you all.
Okay, so let me just wrap up our presentation this afternoon with, again, a welcome to everyone joining the program, and also to just summarize with the 3 points on one of my slides. Had to do with, 1, planning your program of study. Start at the very beginning with that. 2, field experiences are very important within your program, and also professional engagement. Please join and participate in a professional association, your respective state library association, and local or regional association as well. And that's all. Take care. This will be recorded and posted probably by next Monday. There'll be an email to that effect. Okay, take care. Well, it is recorded.